Dear students, welcome to the UV Academy. So, this lecture belongs to the advanced part of science and mathematics, and now this is the advanced science. So, as you know, if you are going to learn in the science section, then your target would be either engineering or medical. And for both the cases, science, which is the fundamental and common for both either IIT exams and for NEET exams. So the foundation of science is very important to study it. So you have to generate or create some fundamentals of science. What actually the ethics for science? What actually the science create, develop the thoughts in your mind. So we have to think about on that directions. So first, in the science, it is as this chapter mentioned, it is a measurement, and measurement is a part of physics. And first, you have to know what actually the physics and what the criteria and the domain of science in which physics contains the material. So, for that, you must have to know what actually the physics. Physics means physics is a part of science or the branch of science in which we have to study about the real world entity. Every object, every physical object we have to describe it and we have to understand what the object is. The objects have some values like having some mass, having some volume, having some length, having some capacity. So for that, how can you measure if there are the various kinds of objects available in the real world? So for that, there is a requirement of the measurement. Measurement is nothing but by which we can compare the the unknown quantity, the values of unknown quantity with a known standard. So for that known standard, we have to know about what is the requirement and what is actually these known standards. So for understanding the measurement, you have to know about the known standard. So now we have to start what are the standards for measurement in the different directions and different ways. So let you can understand that when we travel from one place to another place, then we have to measure the distance between two places. So for that there is a requirement of a one particular kind of measurement, that is called the measurement of the length or distance. So everything which have some length means the length of a pole, length of a car, length of a stick, and everything where we can perceive that object in the form of length. So that is the requirement to measure in the form of length. And another one, if you want to weigh something, like when you go to the shops and you want to purchase some vegetable, rice, sugar, etc., by which the price decided, apart from the quality, the price decided by the how we are weighing and how much its weight. So for that there is another kind of measurement required, that is the mass. So for that we have to check the price is directly proportional to the weight. So for that there is a standard unit and standard if measure, the unit is another concern. Now first we have to focus about the property. So in physics it works on the various properties by which we can identify or differentiate the objects. So first one is the length and second one is the mass. So by mass we can count the quantity, how much we can put into our pocket or our bag. So so there it is the second kind of property, and third one is the time. These are the three fundamental uh, thing which we have to use to think. The first one is the length. Suppose we have to consider the first one is the length, to measure the length of the object. the distance of the two cities, two places, and mass, what actually the weight of that object. And third one is the time. So everything, because when we move from one place to another place, so we can say that we traveled this much of distance, and along with, we can say that there are, we can spend 3 hours for traveling, or we can say that our school is 15 minutes or 30 minutes distant from our home, or from one place to another place, we have taken this much of time. Sometimes we use to travel from one state to another state. So we can say that one capital to another capital. We can say that city A is distant to city 2, that the distance is about 3 hours by our own vehicle. And sometimes we can say that this particular country is apart or distant from this country to around 6 or 8 hours. So it is a crucial measurement for physical world. That's why we can say that length, mass, and time. These three measurements are the fundamental measurements of physics. So every other, most of other, yeah. So there, this is the example. This is the syllabus content of AI issued by the AICT for advanced course. So here the example is clearly said that a tailor measures cloth in meter, doctor measures body temperature in degrees Celsius, and shopkeeper measures rice in kilogram. Because the temperature, we can't measure the temperature by using these fundamental units, length, mass, and temperature. So there are various different aspect in which we can measure the conditions to measure it. So, so now we have to first have to clear what is the requirement of measurement, because we know every real time entity in physical aspect, there have some length. If they're having some volume, then we can also consider these numeric values by which we can create the, consider the area, volume, length, breadth, height, depth. All are the considered the main measurement which is belong to the length. So, so again we have to move further. Now measurement we have cleared. The measurement is required, or we can say that measure it nothing but to compare an unknown quantity with a known standard quantity. Like if you want to measure the length of your cloth, then if you have a particular meter scale by which you can, meter scale is a standard or known values. So by using that value, you can compare, you can measure what is the length of your cloth, or what is the length of your stick, or what is the length and breadth, dimensions of your room, and everything. So this is the requirement where which kind, first is the challenge, that which kind of measurement we have to take place to measure the length of a particular object, because these are the physical property which we discuss in the physics. You know, in chemistry we always consider the chemical part. The chemical part means molecule, atoms, their symbols, their atomicity, and their reactivity, their nature, either the positive element, negative element, or we can say that these are the metal, the semiconductors, these are the gases. So in chemistry we discussed about those properties, but in the physics we consider the physical property which we can directly interact without the material quality, without consider material quality and their atomic considerations, their compounds. We will not discuss in the physics. So it must be clear which uh, area we have to learn in physics and which area we have to learn in chemistry, or combinedly we can club it into a one place, that is a science. So and for the mathematics, generally we calculate the values. For calculations we use mathematics. Mathematics is used in physics, chemistry, and everywhere where the values we can use the mathematics. But the fundamentals either belongs to the physics or belongs to the chemistry in the science domain. So now is the measurement, what is the requirement of measurement, what is the need of measurement, and why this measurement come into the physics. These all topics have been covered here. And after that we have to move to the units. Is another very important part because as we know, to measure a length, there are various parameters or various measures by which we can measure. Either we can measure kilometer, meter, centimeter, and various. I- Similarly, for mass, we can measure in gram, kilogram, quintal, and many other format. And for similarly for time, we can measure it into the second, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, year, decades. So for that there are some standard systems. So we let's discuss in all those systems here. First one is the CGS system. CGS system generally we use for the small values, or we can say that if the entity having a smaller length, having smaller mass, and we have to take consider to travel one place to another place in time. Suppose we can move from one room to another room, or in the same building we can move from one apartment to another apartment, the adjacent apartment. So for that we can say that it is the fraction of seconds. So for that there is a system which is the CGS system. C stands for centimeter, G stands for gram for the mass cases, and S stands for the time measurement in seconds. So it is mainly used in laboratory and scientific calculations, and for the requirement where values are in is smaller. Next one is the FPS system. FPS system is used for foot for length, measuring the length, and P for measuring the mass in the form of pound, and S is still here the second. Similarly, third one is the MKS system. MKS system is the most standardized system in general or by default. If we are going to measure physical quantity, then we used it. The MKS system for length we use the meter, for mass kg, for time second. Generally, you have used the to measure the speed in your questions. If you had gone in the physics, you always seen that a particular object is moving 5 meter per second speed from point A to point B, and an object have 5 kg of mass. So that's why we can say that the MKS system is most standardized format which covers the smaller, medium uh, measurements within the physics. So that's why we have to focus most into the MKS system. So apart from this MKS system, the system later developed into the SI, International System of Units, or System International Unit System. Because among these three systems, the international authorities have recognized MKS system its importance and consider it in SI part, internationally authorized or authenticate acceptable system. So in general, we can say that SI unit. If someone asks you, so what do you mean by the SI system? Then you can by default say it is nothing but the MKS system, because MKS system is more standardized, internationalized, acceptable by all the countries in various scientific and mathematically and a number of domains in abundance form. So MKS system is more standardized, so it is recognized as a SI system. So if somewhere you have to answer that what is the SI system, you have to answered MK system is a SI system. So here, what do you need to for a common system of units? Because there are various systems. The first questions, because science generates creates the curiosity. If you are a science student, then you should be more curious. And what, why, and how? These are the three fundamental questions which, which you have to follow every time. In every question, in every solution, you have to put these words: how, why, and what. So it is a curiosity, it generates the curiosity. So the first curiosity is, what is the need of the common system of units? Because there are the various units are available. You must know the one question is by which you can develop your understanding. You know, every country has their own currency. For India, rupees. In America, US dollar. Australia is the Australian dollar, and somewhere is the ruble, yen, and every country has its own currency. But for the international trade, if we want to trade or have to purchase something from another country, the similar kind of problem arises there also. So in our country, we deal within our country in rupees. In America, we deal into the American dollar. But when we want to import something from America, or America wants to import something from India, or we can say that similar for from any European country. In European countries, there is a euro. So for that, there should be a standard format by which we can successfully develop the trade environment. For that, dollar is considered as the main unit for considering the values. So and everything, either the crude price, either for the GDP values, and everything which is the standardized, internationalized, having we can compare the values that always be measured in terms of dollar. Everything in terms of dollar. If when we compare what is the property rate in India, either in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and what is the property similar properties in America, either Washington, New York, Los Angeles, and any other city. So when we compare that, what is the where the property rate is more than other. So for that there is a requirement of a common unit. That's why we can say that property is more cheaper in India compared to the England. As we know, the property in London is very, very costly. So because we can measure these values in terms of the dollar. So that's why the requirement, the common units is necessity to accept by the international body. I think this common system, now you are properly understand the what is the requirement of this. So in terms of our measurement in general terms, we can say that problems without a common system. What is the problem without a common system? As I discussed, if India want to sell something, but another country where is a requirement, they does not required the trade to purchase that item in terms of rupees, then the both the party buyer and seller not agreed. So for that there is should be the common platform. So there is requirement of a common system. Without this common platform, there is a confusion in international trade. The confusion, because values of different countries are different. How can we say that $1 is not equal to 1 rupees? It is not equal to 1 rupees. So how can we say that everything, if we can say that we can give you the particular item in 1 rupees or 100 rupees, and in return of that you can give us the $100. So that's why the variations of the units. So Second one, error in scientific calculation, because if $1 is not equal to 1 rupee, so we have to equate these values. So in current, the values of rupees is around is so much depreciated. So $1 equal to something 95 rupees around. So $1 equal to 95 rupees around. So for that there is a requirement of compatibility of the units also. We will discuss it later on. Third one is difficulty in sharing scientific data. If some data is into the kilometer, some data is the meter, some is the centimeter, someone is the millimeter, and now this is a computer world where there is a chip, and in a chip there is a nanoparticles are also used there. So how can we compare a 100 nanoparticle never be equal to 100 meter? So that's why for scientific data there is a difficulty. So we have to use different or common system, and this system must be comparable. We can convert one values from one system into another system as per the requirement where we are using it. In medical terms, there are the various another terms, the minute terms and some larger terms for if we want to discuss in aerospace where we have to to measure the length into the light years. It is a very huge value. So we can't measure the distance between two stars or two planets into the form of kilometers. So that's why what is the requirement? What is the condition? We have to switch our system into the another system. So this covers our discussion covered two questions here. First one is the what is the if some systems is the standard system, what is the requirement of other system? So requirement of other system is this: when we switch into the that requirement where a particular system is more suitable, then we have to adopt that system. And if we want to deal with in a general terms, so there should be another standard system, and these system always be convertible from one to another so that we can compare the values. Similarly, if you can say that I have 100 rupees and someone says that I have 1 million rupees, and someone says that 1 billion rupees, someone says that I have 1 trillion rupees. If we are not compared the values difference between million and billion and trillion, so then we can't estimate how much a trillion is bigger than the million or billion. So there should be the comparative systems also by which we can convert one system into the another system and actually estimate the difference and the values in that system. After that, now we have to move into the further part, the international system of units, SI. So these are the basic physical quantity, their SI units and symbols. So in first three, this is the length. It is a fundamental. We have discussed length, mass, and time. All these three are the fundamental units, and most of the part in general terms in every daily life activity, we always face these three things. We have to move from our home to school, school to home, our home to market, our home to hospital, everything, everywhere we are using the land to purchase anything by having some mass in kg, either vegetable, our food, everything we are dealing in mass, and time from traveling one place to another place, we are using the time measures. Sometimes we call to our friend, say that come here, I need you. Then your friend reply to you, okay, I will come after 1 hour, after 2 hours, or after 30 minutes. So that's why we can say that these physical quantity are the fundamental quantity. Apart that, there is a temperature, because when we boiling is something, or if our temperature for fever in any case for medical treatment, temperature is crucial part. So temperature always also be a physical quantity. So similarly, simultaneously is a physical quantity, and after that we will discuss a unit and symbol. Another one is electric current. because in our house every appliances is governed by the electric current. If there is no electricity, our equipment, either electronic equipment, electrical equipment will not work. So electric current is also a very crucial physical quantity measurement. Another was the luminous intensity. It is advanced, but it measures if a particular object is shining. What it's measure about the shining of an object. Like we can say that sun is more brighter than another star. So we can say the intensity of that sun is higher than another one. So that's why intensity, what we feel about it, it is the intensity. Amount of distance or substance, sorry, amount of substance. For that we are using amount of substance means it is part of the chemical calculations. It is a part of the chemical calculations because sometimes we can say that in a particular chemical compounds, how much quantity that substance measures in it contains in it. So we'll discuss SI unit later on, and that's why now first move to the SI units and we'll discuss and carry on that. So for as you know, length is the SI unit is the meter, the MKS system. SI follows the MKS system. MK meter, kilogram, and second. So length M clear. Mass is kilogram kg. Simple MKS clear it. Time for second MK clear. For temperature, it is SI unit is Kelvin. Apart from this, there is Fahrenheit, Celsius, and various other units also. But for the standard SI unit, temperature is measured in the Kelvin. The symbol is K. So electricity, it is the ampere. You can observe on your phone and your another electric appliances. In that is clearly mentioned that this appliance work for a particular volt लिखा होगा उस पे clearly 25 volt 1.5 ampere. So it means it this object or this instrument is designed to handle 1.5 ampere. So it is the capacity of that appliance. So apart if the values beyond this, then it could hamper the circuit body of that appliances. And for that it is ampere and its symbol is A. Similarly, luminous intensity, it is a candela. It means the shining. It measures how much a particular object shines compared to another one. It is the candela. It is measured by candela and symbol is the CD. Amount of substance. This is the mole. For that we have to go to the some chemistry part. If you have aware of the chemistry, if we can say that I have S2O, water means S2O, one mole. How can you measure it if in a cup or in a glass there are some water? In a chemistry terms, we can measure how many moles of the waters are S2O present in that glass. So we can measure it in the form of mole, in the measure of mole. So and it's we can represent it MOL symbol. So these are the because our topic is what is the requirement of measurement and why we are learning it into the physics and what's its importance and why there is a requirement of different measurements and for that measurement what is the requirement of standard units and standard systems and why these are the standard systems are present, what their importance, what their roles, is it any standard measurement system, and if we are using more than one system, can we compare or convert one system values to another system? So we have covered all these points here in this lecture. So now move on what, how, and why. The basic of science. What, how, and why. For a science student, you can't you can't say that we can accept everything very easy. For curiosity, you have to generate questions. What? What is this? If you understand, oh, I know what is physics, what is measurement, what is unit, then next question is how? How can we implement it? And then if you are ready, oh, we know, we know what is this and how we can implement it now. Then third question should be why? Why it is required? Why we use it? So everything should be clear. What means हमें इसको ये क्या है इसको समझें कैसे दिमाग में इसकी इमेज कैसे बनाएं उसको समझना होगा कि ये दूसरे से अलग कैसे है फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री से अलग क्यों है मेजरमेंट हमने क्यों किया तो व्हाट की अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी तभी आपकी जर्नी आगे बढ़ पाएगी और जब आपने किसी को समझ लिया तो फिर आपको अंदर दूसरा क्वेश्चन क्या आएगा कि हम इसको कैसे यूज करें कहाँ पे यूज करें अगर आपको डिस्टेंस को मेजर करना है आपको मेजरमेंट समझ में आ गया लेंथ करना है, तो सबसे पहले आप क्या करिए घर में कोई स्टिक को उठाइए या अपने रूम के डायमेंशन को मेजर करना शुरू कर दीजिए कोई स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट को लेके जैसे आपके इंच टेप है उसके हेल्प से आप उसको मेजर करिए आप वे कर सकते हैं आपके पास कुछ सामान है उसको आप वेट करिए उसे मास को आप देख सकते हैं आप एक रूम से दूसरे रूम पे जाइए डायमेंशन आप देखिए वॉच अपने पास रखिए कितना टाइम आपको लग रहा है तो आप तीनों चीजों को आप इजीली आप देख लेंगे इसलिए मैं कहता हूं कि हमारा लेंथ मास और टेम्परेचर नहीं सॉरी लेंथ मास एंड टाइम ये तीन हमारे फंडामेंटल हैं जो हर जगह यूज होते हैं टेम्परेचर हमारा के दूसरे केस में होगा कि जब हम किसी को कुक कर रहे हैं या हम बीमार पड़ गए अब तीसरी बात है वाई main and effective question in science. Why it is required? It is required basically. Science is the fundamental of research, scientific experiment, and for everything. अगर आपको चीजों को कैलकुलेट करना है आपको उसको कन्वर्जन करना है न्यूमेरिक ऑपरेशंस लगाने हैं कुछ भी अप्लाई करना है तो वाई आपको पता होना चाहिए जैसे आपको पता है अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं आप पढ़ना क्यों चाहते हैं अब रिवर्स बेसिस पे हम बात करते हैं आप साइंस क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं आप पढ़ना क्यों चाहते हैं आपका आंसर सिंपल होगा कि सर पढ़ेंगे तो अच्छा होगा बेटर हमारे पास अपॉर्चुनिटी रहेगी कैरियर अच्छा बनेगा हम सोशली फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाएंगे फ्यूचर प्लानिंग हम बेटर तरीके से कर सकते हैं तो वाई इज द फाइनल डेस्टिनेशन टू अचीव दैट these questions we have to first know what and how in very precise and clear way. If what and how is very much clear in your mind, then why is not going to be too much difficult to understand. So it is the fundamental of science. So we have to move further. What is the advantage of SI unit? The advantage क्या है? Internationally accepted है. हम जो कैलकुलेशंस यहाँ पे करेंगे हमने कोई रिसर्च यहाँ पे करी इंडिया में करी और वो उसका पेटेंट लेने के लिए हम बाहर कहीं जा रहे हैं तो क्या होगा वो इंटरनेट एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे नहीं तो अगर हम अपने ही कोई डायमेंशन अपनी कोई ऐसी लैंग्वेज बना के बैठ जाएं जो दूसरा समझ ही नहीं पाएगा तो हमारे डॉक्यूमेंट को क्या होगा वो रीडेबल नहीं है वो एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है वो सोसाइटी को सर्व नहीं कर पाएगा इजी टू यूज एंड अंडरस्टैंड जो सिमिलरली हमने बोला है जैसे अगर इंग्लिश की हम बात करें इंग्लिश वर्ल्ड वाइड सब लोग बोलते हैं समझते हैं तो ऐसा कोई फॉर्मेट होना चाहिए जो स्टैंडर्डाइज हो जो हर जगह एक्सेप्टेबल हो उससे कोई कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट ना हो बेस्ड ऑन द डेसिमल नंबर सिस्टम हमें पता है कि जो डेसिमल नंबर सिस्टम है जो कि 0 to 9 डिजिट से मिलके बना है आफ्टर दैट सब चीजें 0 9 एक हमारे डिजिट है जिससे जितने भी नंबर देखेंगे आप 10 को लेकर तो 1 और 0 कॉम्बिनेशन 11 1 1 का कॉम्बिनेशन 19 है 1 और 9 का कॉम्बिनेशन 0 and 9 means desi means 10 in 10 different symbols started from 0 to 9 decimal number system having only 10 digit 0 to 9 तो ये क्या होता है जो हमारे एसआई यूनिट्स है ये डेसिमल नंबर सिस्टम पे डील करते हैं और डेसिमल नंबर सिस्टम बहुत ही एंशियंट टाइम से ये हमारा एक्सेप्टेबल फॉर्म है जिसे हम लोग मेजर करते हैं. So that's why it's the most acceptable SI format. So now further we can move. What is the conversion of unit between different systems? How can we convert one system to another system? So for that there is a chart for length kilometer. If 1 kilometer, we know 1 kilometer equal to 1000 meter and 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. 1 kg equal to 1000 gram. 1 hour equal to 3,600 seconds. So if we have to convert 9 kilometer per hour into meter per second, so for that simply you have to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, and whatever the values before it, we finally we will multiply that value. So for that is the value is 9, and again kilometer means by default it is 1. Everyone know if we multiply anything by 1, the value remains the same. It is 1 kilometer and 1 hour. This is 9 into 1 kilometer. What is the value of 1 kilometer? 1 kilometer equal to 1000 meter. So we can put it is the 1000 meter. Similarly, and into this is the 1 we can multiply 1 also, 1 into 1000. Same here, 1 into hour, or yeah, simply 1 hour. We can say that this is always the 1 hour, so there is no requirement of one. So 1 hour equal to 3600 seconds. Always remember when we use the numeric values as well as the some symbol. So you have to separate these values, symbols separately and values separate. So we can use it is a 9 into 1000 divided by 3600. It is separated by the unit. This is M by S. So this is S, not 5. So we can cancel out 0 by 0, cancel out 0 by 0. It is 10, 9 in the table of 9, 9 1 ja 9, 9 4 ja 36, and it is 10, 2 2 ja 4, and 2 5 ja 10. 1 into 5 equal to 5 by 2 meter per second, which is actually this value. So by this we can convert one standard into the another standard. So you will try it another values and another combinations by your own. So I think we are properly understand the physics, the soul of the physics, their measurement, what is the requirement of measurement, and where are the different dimensions, different way we can measure the a physical entity, either length, either mass, either time, either temperature, either intensity, and various ways. So, so keep check. Now name any of the any two system you will work out here, right? CGS system, MK system, foot pound system. Why is the SI system preferred over other system? We have already discussed it. Convert 250 Newton into this. This is we will discuss. You must now not cover this part because it is not the basic unit. So first we have to, because if you are going to learn, so confusing part you have to halt for some time, and So first you develop, create the fundamentals, and after that the concept which are more tougher than the previous one, then we will cover that part there. So now the basic part is how we are going to convert one standard to another standard. So convert, this is simple. You can convert it into the 1000 kg per L into. So check for your understanding here. Which one for not an SI unit? We know meter MKS is the SI unit. What is not? SI unit of mass is, we know SI is nothing but the MKS, and mass component here is K. K for kg. The answer should be the B. Name of the system of units used internationally. You know SI unit. Why is a common system of unit necessary? Because it should be internationalized. Lesser confusion, acceptability, reliability, and we can easily convert into the into that one into another format, and it should be the standardized and work onto the decimal number system will be. So these are already we have discussed. Why are these are need for a common system of units? Because if we are measuring a heavy, larger, huge quantity physical body, then we have to use that standard, and for measuring the small values there is a requirement of the another kind of यूनिट सपोज व्हेन जब हम सब्जी लेने जाते हैं चीनी लेने जाते हैं हम क्या कहते हैं कि इतने किलो चीनी दे दो इतने किलो सब्जी दे दो लेकिन जब आप सोना लेने जाते हैं कहीं बोलते हैं 10 किलो सोना दे दो तो जैसे ही हमारे पास रिक्वायरमेंट होगी हमें उसी यूनिट के हिसाब से अपने आप को कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा तो फर्दर ये मेनली जो हमारे टॉपिक थे ये सब हमने इसमें कन्वर्ट कर दिए हैं सिंपल आप इसको ट्राई करना सही और जो बाकी चीज़ें हैं जब आप तो हम उसको नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में डिस्कस करेंगे बिकॉज ये हमारा पहला लेक्चर था पहला वीडियो था तो इसमें क्या होगा कि इस टॉपिक में मेनली बस कंसर्न हमें ये रखना है कि मेजरमेंट क्या है क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है यूनिट क्या होती हैं कैसे हम उसको कन्वर्ट करते हैं ये सारे जो क्वेश्चन हम लोगों ने यहाँ तक कवर किए हैं ना अपने सिक्स तक इस सब के आंसर के लिए है क्योंकि इससे ज़्यादा अभी डाइजेस्ट करना पॉसिबल नहीं है तो इस चैप्टर को हमने यहाँ तक काफ़ी कवर किया है इसको आप देखिए लेक्चर को दोबारा से फिर बार बार आप देख सकते हैं वीडियोस को और उसमें फिर कुछ अगर समझ में कुछ प्रॉब्लम आती है तो फिर आप कमेंट सेक्शन में जाके हमें बताइए हम चीज़ों को और इम्प्रूव करेंगे क्लियर चलिए फिर मिलते हैं किसी अगले अगले वीडियो में और कंपेटिबिलिटी धीरे धीरे जब हम लगेंगे तो अच्छी बनेगी और थोड़ा पेशेंस रखना साइंस एक पेशेंस के लिए ही डिटरमाइन होती है साइंस मैथ पैशन रहेगा जुड़े रहेंगे हमसे तो बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगी जैसे आप सजेस्ट करेंगे उस हिसाब से हम चीज़ों को आपके हिसाब से प्रिपेयर करेंगे सो ओके
वीडियोस बनाने हैं फिल्मोरा है ना